from level 4 onwards. They don't really fall off as that game goes into the later stages. But I do worry about MYS when we do reach that final 2-minute mark, because if we do compare these two drafts, I would say the AoE crowd control is in favor of XoraTigers, and we always know how important it is to have the advantage with initiation in those 5-on-5 engagements. For MYS to win those engagements, you're going to have to try and you have to force premature unites so that they're not going to land together for XoraTigers. But for XoraTigers, you just need your moves to connect. If it connects onto any of those evolutions, that should be enough setup for Sabine and Mule to come in and clean up.
Yeah, but then again, looking at the top side as well, it's going to be relatively difficult, especially for Dioscordo as well. He's got that leaf here already as well. He'll be coming with Solar Blade, bottom lane on the other hand, especially now with the Espion. Thankfully, that Hyper Voice range isn't that far, so our dear friend War is definitely going to be able to live to fight for a few minutes as well. But again, here comes rotation coming in from the Dodri here, trying to do significant amount of damage, but quick reaction and defensive plays allows him to fall back all the way to the goalpost to keep him nice and well. No simple pickups so far, couple of skirmishes as well, but now let's see who will be able to get the priority for this Altaria family. But unfortunately, this is an EV evolution lineup as well, so I really believe damage-wise and securing-wise will be in their favor for now until we see a little bit more levels and max evolutions.
Yep, so we do have both of the Pokemon for MYS fully evolved in that bottom lane. Crustle and Sylveon, a amazing combo. You can just set up with the Rock Tomb, follow up with that Hyper Voice, just dishes so much damage as well. Unfortunately, not connecting onto the Eldegoss there. Down bottom though, because the Sylveon is alone, just pressured by the Scald coming out from that Slowbro. Just got to be careful. This is one of the things you do need to be careful of as MYS. You are running a very, very squishy comp. So you don't want to feel too safe on the hyperspace hole. We've seen multiple times team capitalizing on that safety net people feel when they're standing on the hyperspace hole, even if it's about to teleport. And I hope these teams are ready for a potential triple trample cancel, because that does happen. We saw that in the Southeast Asia qualifier, Eeyore doing this to Talon PH, and actually that was the main reason why they won that matchup altogether. So MYS have to be extremely careful with their position, trying to go for a bit of a burst there onto the Auto, almost getting it. They do get that finish off. Here comes Dodrio though. They do get the KO onto the Hooper, so it's a 1-for-1 so far, but for MYS, it's just a Hooper. As long as your evolutions are up, you're A-okay.
It's going to be really difficult, right? AV Evolutions, they will definitely have the better part of that trade and that engagement as well. They can even force it if they want to as well, and there's no way for on the side for Team XoraTiger to really try to answer back. They can try. That's pretty much why you see Mew still sticking around that top lane a little bit longer as well, just to try to remind us like, hey, you know, sure, you guys are stronger than us in terms of damage. You have the damage spike at the current moment here, but I am here to just to remind you, just to show presence at the fact that you can't be so aggressive. And guess what? Despite him doing this, he's also still keeping with the necessary level and is the highest level Pokemon trainer here.
Unfortunately, Yang gets taken out there just a little bit too deep on that Hooper, feeling a little bit too excited. Regieleki though is up on the top lane, and both of these teams, they have grouped up so far. We've got most of the EVs here, and gets locked in by that Glaceon. So MYS going to be happy with that top objective, and now probably thinking about pivoting to the bottom, or maybe they want to punish Zora. Zora thinking that they've gone. They have stuck around though at half health. Regieleki still standing. Psychic Solaire being committed as well. They're going to insta-KO onto the Sylveon. That's not what you want, but look at that. MYS going to counter KO on that Blastoise. They have forced the Regieleki Emerald 2-stop. The animation does not finish, but they do get the commitment onto the Espion in that process. But oh my goodness, what a heavy cost for that fight.
It really was, but of course now here comes round 2 as he currently has been respawned and come back into the fray. Completely respecting it, will slowly fall back. Although yes, which I'm totally fine with this, because at this current moment, Mew is just maybe maybe 2 wild Pokemon away before hitting that level 10, and he just got it as well. Very fast on that level race as well. They got the Blastoise too, just need to get a couple of more, and then finally you get that really massive team fight unite move. This is the part where now Team MYS really need to fight, really need to pick their fights really carefully as well, because such a big team fight CC ability, right, can be quite disruptive, as it will create quite big openings for Mew to really dive to the backline. It's already quite simple for him to dive into the mix as well. Don't get me wrong, the combination coming in from both the crossover does enhance, but great rapid spin into the backline, really bothering them out for the rest of the team. Beautiful timing with a 3-man Hydro move to really set things up as they really shred them all one by one. They're so soft, they literally melt like a hot knife through butter as they melted all the way.
This is actually not looking very good for MYS because you're running an evolution comp like this, but you are not ahead in levels. You're actually behind XoraTigers. And again, I'm going to quickly reiterate this. XoraTigers' late game looks much better than MYS's at this point of time. There's just not enough scaling and not enough crowd control to make your EVs feel that safe. It really comes down to Ice. If he can get those rock tombs, he gets a nice one, but the eject button keeping Eldegoss in a very safe space, safe distance. MYS are actually starting to hesitate in some of these fights. They're supposed to be the confident ones. They're supposed to want to fight into XoraTigers, but they're hesitating. They're double guessing these decisions. And when you're running a comp like this that requires perfection, this is not an ideal situation.
It's not just perfection as well. When you're having all this kind of Pokemon as well, you really need something to really lock down all of your opponent's Pokemon to allow you to set up and maximize a lot of this damage. That's where the Cross actually comes in, one of the best, enabling all this kind of combination. However, but he was handling the bottom lane instead. Now with a quick switch up as well, which I was preferred definitely for sure, is he sends Sylveon to the bottom lane and allow Cross to go to the top instead. But now a quick confrontation. So Glacial Sage also has been committed as well. No such pickup so far, unable to find the opening. But Ice popping the Rumble Rouser here just to keep it alive as well, because that additional shield, it'll be pretty great for now, because that's a lot of damage being dished out by the Dodrio here by Mule. But guess what? Then he's level 12. He's happily having a ball in the field. He's doing a couple invasions. Was able to snipe a couple of those buff camps as well. And now they're just really keeping up with the level game here.
Man, MYS are just barely keeping up with XoraTigers. I am really shocked at the macro game coming out from the third place East Asia team right now. XoraTigers really impressing, and they've had a lot of support online so far from what I've seen. And I think if anything, XoraTigers, I think they actually have more support here. It looks like we're going to be seeing a Unite coming out from Yang, bringing the entire team in. Now, XoraTigers, they have backed up a little bit. Dodrio is not there with the team, actually wanting to punish that Leafeon in the top lane. But Espeon gets the secure onto that Registeel, meaning the attack buff is going to go in favor of XoraTigers. That's a 1-to-1 so far. Crustal and Slowbro off the field. But look at the Sylveon just melting Sabine. I'm the better Eevee, he says. And Foxy looking to do a little bit more. We do have a very low Blastoise. Almost cut down, does get taken out there. He thought he was able to rapid spin in, but no siree. And as well, the icicle shots doing a lot of damage to the Dodrio too.
Great, this is fantastic. Just readjusting positioning wise, prioritizing targets. Don't even think about trying to get to the backline now. Just melt anyone that really is currently easier access to you. And let's be honest, they have the damage to actually melt anyone at this point here. Let's be honest, yes, Blastoise is pretty tanky once he pops the Unite move. But before that, prior to that, he has no surf. He's a rapid spin. So not really any way to disengage from any of this frontal assaults here. Easy way for him to really go for those picked up on John.
2-minute 10 mark. Now, if they give this Regieleki away, I think this would be a massive mistake by MYS. They got to figure out a way to delay this or to stop them. They do have a few Pokemon here, but it looks like the Regi is not going to be completed at all. Both teams looking for their positions for this Rayquaza as the legendary King of the Sky has come down. His presence, waiting to see who he's going to bestow his gift of shielding to. And at the moment, point advantage is in favor of MYS, so for them, they're going to have to play defense. They are playing extremely far back, worried about those back caps, but XoraTigers, I don't know if they're going to go for back caps. They understand that their team fight is superior to MYS, especially with the constant threat of that Hydro Typhoon. Leafeon is far from the team, so MYS, they're not going to be in a comfortable position to fully engage into XoraTigers until a full-blown fight has kicked off. Now, they are going to be throwing those portals for Ice just to get the resets in. Mule trying to scout out and find one of these EVs, but he can't quite see anybody. He just sees Yang at the moment, and Ice, Rumble Rouser pop, catching two Pokemon, thrown up by Rayquaza as well. Looks like Rayquaza not going to be cheering for anybody but Blastoise. First Pokemon to go down, and Hydro Typhoon wasn't even committed.
This is great, because right now they're choked out for choices here, right? And with the presence that Ice really has here, really nice Rock Tomes can literally mean pretty much the end for any of these players. That's why they're playing really passive and but really defensive at the same time. But they are pressured for time. 40 seconds, and Rayquaza is still going to be the win condition for them to flip this game. Hoopa Unbound, they're coming in with all aggression and all positioning as well. They think they have the advantage, especially since Blastoise was fall, but he was able to respond until he comes in the mix as well. But look at Mule, just couldn't find the necessary amount of opening. He just gone onto the leaf here, but will the damage be enough? Unfortunately, he couldn't do it as well. They managed to back off. Will fall. 3 members remain. Who secured the Rayquaza? It will be in the hands of Mule. They got it back as they turn things around with the return of Zhong with the Blastoise here. Now they're making it way to get the necessary goalposts as well. I can't believe it. Despite the disparity, XoraTigersGaming will bring the game back as they secure Game 1 of the series.
They found their opening, and I have to say, that dance that we didn't see on screen, we had Mule constantly threaten a backstab from that lower bush, whilst the rest of his team was slowly chipping away at Rayquaza, forcing MYS to eventually engage into them, because MYS, they don't want XoraTigers to finish that Rayquaza.
Correct.
They tried to go for the full commitment. Foxy went for a very wide backstab on the right side as that Sylveon, even committing his Unite, did not manage to land onto Espeon, and instead was caught in the Psychic Solaire, was bursted down by the Blastoise, and everything just collapsed. They tried to go for the last hit steal onto the Rayquaza as well. We did see Leafeon charging up, but it's quote-unquote diver on the side of XoraTigers. But outside of that, though, MYS are pretty well protected.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? It's like it's really just because we're talking about like two composition who's going to be literally dependent on your backline damage dealers, right? It's really will come down to who's able to melt who first, that kind of thing. Although yes, there are more smaller factors like flanking maneuvers as well, who's able to get really better positioning, who's able to catch that backline first. There's a lot of variables coming into the mix as well, a lot of decisions. I guess you could have a really small early game macro decision that will somewhat dictate the pace of the game, but such early aggression, and they will manage to punish that for TeamMYS support who's coming in for that invasion.
Yeah, they did slow down the Glaceon's progress by a few seconds, just allowing HT to have a little bit more freedom in his central lane before anything happens. So we're going to see the Glaceon consider going for possibly a bottom rotation just to secure that lane there for Sabine's Mew. You really want to try and prevent Foxy from getting those levels. Foxy is going to play a key role in this team alongside HT. If anything, Foxy is going to be the win condition for this team. HT is just going to try and drive this game for as long as possible and keep that level balance between these two teams. So we'll see if that's going to come out into play. Both central laners back into the central lane, and I think Glaceon might be considering that top lane. I have to say, though, up top, not looking too good there for Yamu. He's just hit Water Portal at that level 5. He wants to have a better lane if possible, but it is a little bit difficult, especially going up against that Lapras.
Definitely, for sure, and it's also the same applied to our dear Phantom here as well. Like one of the few disadvantages about the Trevenant is the fact that you only will get the Trevenant when you hit that level 5. So it's going to be taking quite a while. Thankfully, not massive burst happening towards that bottom path. However, a quick rotation coming in from the sidelines here. They want to try to get the first KO, and they will. They needed to break the tie here. They needed to create a little bit of a breathing room here for Yamu to really get things started here, to get the ball rolling. Now with that nice KO will be great. Now they're slowly transitioning to that central area securing. However, it's a little bit too late as XoraTigers is a little bit fast on the up there. But woo!
Foxy
big
coming
damage.
in.
Yeah.
Gets the snipe, but he will get counter KO'd. What a setup coming in from the Trevenant. Lines it up, and Sabine just sends him back to base with that Solar Beam. Fantastic play. No counter KOs there, but oh my gosh, XoraTigers are on fire today.
You know, it's somewhat forgotten as well. Like, it's just not Night Mew Foxy as well. But Sabine also really knows how to really line up those Solar Beam with the Mew as well perfectly. But a great competition as they try to seize control of the Arteria family. Back it out, it's a classic 4v4. But the burning coming in from Hasty is relatively significant, and they have to respect that. Not really committing the Moonlight, totally understanding that that damage is a little bit too much for them to handle. Saving a little bit, falls back, heals the whole team to prep for this first objective, the Regirock here.
Yeah, so the play here for MYS, they want to try and draw this for as long as possible. No. They're hoping for HT to get his fireworks. Once the fireworks are ready to go, I think that's when MYS is going to be very patient in engaging into XoraTigers. So they do manage to set up so far onto the Slowbro. They do not get that follow-up Solar Beam though, so they will get the recovery off with the soft-boiled eggs. Yang just staying close with Ice, just trying to keep them topped up. Solar Beam flying left and right though. HT getting connected there. Mew almost going down. Sabine thankfully able to just waltz on out of their Glaceon though, trying to dish out some damage onto that Blissey. There's the fireworks connecting onto that Glaceon, and they managed to pop him down, and the Trevenant as well. There's not much you can do. There's no recovery for you.
There's just no way for them to confront it at all. Now they have the advantage. They also have the buff as well. They want to see if they can try to assert it as much as possible. But remember, this is Mew, a very slippery Pokemon, really hard to get your hands on it as well. They won't be able to get anyone into the mix as well. Not much pokes, but just in case, reinforcement for the top path, it has arrived. Zhong Zhong comes in just to keep them in check, to say, hey, you know, I took turn, the Traveler subbed in for me. Now it's his turn to get the necessary amount of fun and defend that top half. Now it's time for Zhong to get a little bit in the action here, but will it be enough? With the threat of the Intellion, who's been very comfortable, by the way, he's absolutely having Nightmare Fox is having a ball with the Intellion with the snipe shot. No one has really able to disrupt him at all in this entire confrontation.
No, they have a really tough time. XoraTigers are going to really struggle to even catch Nightmare Foxy. It's just so elusive. They need to be also careful of those snipe shots, because if they get too soft, MYS will dive onto them with no issues. They're even going to pressure there with Yang throwing soft-boiled eggs. And to XoraTigers too. Just pushing them away. They're looking to try and go for a bit of a quick rip here. Do they have the final hit? Blastoise will secure that last hit too. So it's going to be a big win. And they even committed the Glaceon Unite for that too. So unfortunately for Mule, he's not going to be battle ready for this next fight if one kicks off.
It's fine, because now they're popping the Unite mode because they totally understand as they defend against the Regieleki. This is the prime time for them to really try to get this punished. They get a couple of pokes in here and they will succeed. One Chaos secure, make that two at the same time. Absolutely making use of the situation, and they know for a fact once they secure the Regieleki, they will all group up for the goal post. They will try to defend it, and while they're all compact and grouped up, it's perfect for that Hydro Typhoon into the Unite move of the Intellion here. Absolutely well done and executed.
It was a very tough fight too. We did see the Trevenant try and go for a Horn Leech connect onto HT. He even committed the Phantom Forest on it as well, but a Bliss Assist coming in, just keeping that Delphox topped up. And I mean, there's not much you can do as a tree. Like once you throw your combo, you're basically donezo. And so much poke coming in for MYS. And even though they're running this Clefable, all this negative healing is causing them a lot of grief. If anything, they're probably thinking, hang on a minute, I think we should have picked something that doesn't actually have so much healing that's being negated by this annoying Delphox. Zhong, they're going to try and zone away MYS sitting on top of that Registeel, but he's at half health. He's away from the team, and Clefable needs to reset down to half health too. Zhong still sticking around. He will take quite a bit of damage there, and the Registeel going to go in favor of MYS yet again. This Lapras just trying to slide away, but the rest of the team will pay the price.
They just really can't withstand the amount of damage. The Clefable that was supposed to come in to give them the sustain was just not there. And now one by one, priority target has been set in stone here. And the rest of the squad will go for the rest of the pickers here. They will all fall like dominoes one by one. As they try to defend this goalpost for as long as they can, whatever they can actually in the first place here, while they wait for the rest of the reinforcement. But still, another pickoff and the priority target 5-on-1. There's no way you're going to be able to withstand that kind of damage. No choice, we'll lose out the first goal post in that bottom lane as well.
So both tier 1s are down here for XoraTigers. This is actually turning into a nightmare game for this team after what a fantastic run they had in match number 1. MYS hungry to force this to a game number 3, especially with the surprise last pick Delphox for HT, a Pokemon whose style we very rarely see for this player, and he's executing it so well. But it's not over yet for XoraTigers. They still do have that late game that they can look at. 40 seconds to go before Rayquaza will be hitting that field, and it might have to come down to some of the AoE crowd control on the side of XoraTigers. They still have access to Phantom Forest. They're also going to have Zhong who can come in with the Lapras Express. If we can get a multi-man Ice Beam, that might just be the setup that they need to hopefully get the damage out there for Sabine and Mule. These two, the game is on their shoulders. You're relying on Glaceon and Mew to do the heavy lifting, but I just don't know if they're going to have enough opportunities with the tree and Lapras.
This is the kind of fight where a frontal assault is not very ideal for XoraTiger. It's actually quite costly, and the chances of success is not that high.
But they can't backcap. They have no backcapping capability.
No, so this is what I'm thinking, right? They have to go for flanking. Someone has to take the brunt of it while someone really gets to that back. Like, sure, yes.
Zhong's trying, but he's about to run into a Blastoise. That's going to be scattered out.
That's why I'm saying that's a really well-positioned company from MYS. He understands their win condition is to really disrupt their Nightmare Foxy. That's why he's standing up there. Despite being so far from the rest of the squad, he's keeping his distance, but also giving the necessary intel, giving them the call-out. Guys, they're here. I'm nearby. Don't worry. I'm keeping my distance. They can't really catch on me unless they really fully commit.
Got to be careful there, Yang. You're all alone. You're not really supported by your team in the backlines, though. We still have Yemu trying to get into position, being pushed away by Jong, threatening with that Ice Beam. If that freeze connects, that might just be curtains for him. Ice, though, continuing to provide vision for his team, and XoraTigers struggling to find an opening. Yes, they have this Moonlight, but when this fight kicks off and the fireworks get thrown down, that Moonlight is going to mean absolutely nothing. This Phantom Forest might just have to be a game-winning one, or if we can get the flank coming in from Jong, that might just be the play here, but it looks like Phantom Forest connecting. No damage follow-up. The team is too far away. Jong coming in for the backstab, but beautiful jump coming in from HT. No connection onto the Delphox, but they've lost the Blastoise though, so maybe this is what XoraTigers needs. They've used their Unites though, but can they deal with that damage? Hornleech going to completely whip. The Blissey's still hanging around for the team. They're still trying to go for the rip, but they can't. The Glaceon is gone. The Espeon is gone. It's just the two defenders, and HT say, I don't care. Your healing means nothing.
Oh man, like he doesn't care. He absolutely love it. And having an absolute ball here. Sure, you lose Nightmare Foxy, but the damage has already been done, Danny. Constant poke, constant aggression, so really cement their win in this round. A pick such as Delphox really excel in this case, especially when you don't really have diving composition to really pair with alongside with your team. It's just that difficult here for them. So really well done. The drafting was, I guess you could confidently say that it was pretty much set in stone from before the game actually really happened.
That was an ace. That was 100% an ace card coming in from MYS. They have been hanging on to that for the longest time, and to bring it out, Yemu playing more of that utility top lane in that Lapras will do sustained damage, but most importantly just wants to stay in the front lines and constantly slow and freeze. On the other side though, I think there's definitely a lot more damage, a lot more burst. You're dealing with Inteleon snipe shots and solar blades from a Leafeon, and also a Venusaur. But the Venusaur, we're not 100% sure if it's going to be Solar Beam or Petal Dance. I presume it's Petal Dance, but we don't get to see items, so we don't get to choose when things do or don't happen. But I'm just looking at the team, and I'm kind of leaning towards XoraTigers. Like, they've got really great supports. You've got Umbreon and Blissey. Blissey in particular is amazing when you're trying to save one ally. If someone gets jumped on, Blissey's shields in a lot of cases are going to be able to save your teammate, and that gives you enough time to turn things around and maybe even force that fight in your favor.
Well, I mean, it's understandable, right? Because like you have so much options, you have so much versatility, you have the range from the Inteleon. Solar Beam, just in case if you choose to go for it, but Petal Dance is also pretty great because you're currently going to be in your face with a lot of these Pokemon. You're going to be in your face with Lapras, the Mimikyu, the Clefable, the Trevenant, right? So the Petal Dance is going to be helpful to able to reset that Giga Drain, or at least get it out a lot more faster than usual here. But if you choose to go for the Solar Beam, it's also really great because you're going to be able to pressure out a lot of these Pokemon here to really keep their distance here. Leafeon with the Solar Beam, of course, without a doubt, an insane ability. Mean Look. Basically, it's a very strong lineup. You couldn't ask for a more better lineup composition coming out from XoraTigers to really try to bring this game back into their favor here for
I'm
sure.
actually concerned because Mean Look synergizes so well with the
everything,
entirety
right?
yeah, XoraTigers, like Mean Look synergizes with XoraTigers so well. And for MYS, a Clefable, like there's only so much you're going to be able to do with Clefable healing. So you need to be very mindful of who's going to be in front, who gets caught with the Mean Look, and finding openings and saying like, hey, they're going to jump on me because they've Mean Looked me. Can we counter jump? Can we surprise them before they actually try to finish me off? Lots of things to think about here. The game is still relatively early, but we are getting a bit of a jump here. It's actually going to be play rough on this. Mimikyu instantly taking out both Inteleon as well as that Blissey.
Well done.
MYS are mad. They want to win this game, and XoraTigers, you can tell they were not prepared for that.
Well done. I don't know whether you noticed it as well, but Ice actually did this really nice rotation all the way to the back and really cut off their field of escape here. Sure, they only got 1 KO out of it, but it was just really enough to really try to tip the scale slightly back. They just really needed any form of openings here, any kind of pick off here to try to get some form of advantage. With that opening, they get a couple of nice points into the mix as well, and just sort of remind them that, for a fact that, hey, we've been hit by all kinds of flanking maneuvers by all kinds of teams in this tournament. we can also do the exact same thing as well here.
Top lane so far has been an absolute big win here for MYS. They are just scoring points for free. They're getting free experience for Yamu, so he's actually going to try and aim for that level 9 to get the Lapras Express. But looks like Leafeon on the side of XoraTigers will be getting the buff for the team. It's just the Regice buff as well. It's not an attack or defense buff at all, but the experience will pay off, especially with how things have been a little bit difficult in that top lane for Jong. He does hit level 8 because of that experience though, so things are starting to look a little bit up for him. It's going to be Petal Dance, his choice of move for this matchup, and the Giga Drain as well. So lots of sustain, lots of in-your-face capabilities for that Venusaur. But I'm curious to know what's the play here. It looks like it's going to be a 5-man rush for that Regieleki in that top lane. At MYS, the team's not really in position. It just gets sniped.
It is so difficult for them as well. There's just so many abilities on the side here for XoraTigers for really great secure moves, in this case on a lot of these objectives as well here. So pretty tough for them to really get into it. They really need the traveling. They really need they need all hands on deck here. And I think this is why I really like Venusaur, right? They're very fast, very versatile.
Ice is trying to get level 9. He wants Phantom Forest, but he's not going to be given the opportunity. Doesn't get it.
It's so hard. Like, there's just too many ways to really secure like objectives here as well, and these wild Pokemons here. But then again, the fact that they're still able to keep up to date with the level has been pretty great. Managed to lock them down here, but like I said, Mew, it's so, like I said, he is such a slippery Pokemon here. It's just so hard for them to really get into it.
I think we're going to be seeing a battle up top. We are seeing the rotation here for HT, and the team is ready to go. Lapras Express committed. They're going straight for the Inteleon, forcing out the eject button though, but they're going to keep on going. Bliss Assist does connect, and they're going to be able to keep the Inteleon going, and Jong wants to help finish things up for the team. They do get 1 KO, 2 KOs, Mimikyu, as well as that Clefable go down. Ice coming in from the back lines, but the team is not really in position. Phantom Forest, the bonus damage. Maybe this is what they need, but we're seeing the Leafeon jump on Nightmute. Foxy deletes him before any follow-up comes through. But hang on a minute though, the fight's still going on. They tried to go for ward, instead wanting to turn on to that Leafeon. They just don't have the connections though. The follow me, they're saying, Trobo, we are hungry, we need some experience, give us experience.
This is going to be great. Now the full team is back at full frontal here. They'll definitely be able to break this first goal post as well, and they will succeed into it here. A lot of points, they have the lead here. Sure, that frontal part was a little bit difficult, especially since, you know, when you have all your frontliners already so far extended forward, you leave your dear friend Mew, especially without the Mirage here. He has no way to really escape into the face of the lead here. However, decent amount of trades, but in the end, MYS will feel better for that one for sure. On leads to try to secure some of these wild Pokemon will not be able to get any here. On the other side, all teams are really grouping out. Lapras still trying to get the necessary farm and levels in as much as possible before the big fight that comes in. Nice KO, nice isolation on the Clefable. That just means they don't really have any support for the heals here. Can they hold this goalpost against them? Yeah, that's the real question. Lapras Express, pretty great. He was able to get all the way to the back line. The position wasn't really that great. Even Nightmare and Foxy completed the ultimate, just try to get close in the gaps here. They will succeed on both the Inteleon and the Venusaur, and they will get another one in the process, but it's not done yet, Danny. They want a couple of more. They're not satisfied with 3. They want to get 4, possibly a 5. Unfortunately, not enough. Verdant Anger with a massive amount of damage to try to isolate the rest of the team. Unfortunately for this fact here, our dear friend Traveler will fall here, but the rest of the squad are very satisfied with that earlier engagement.
Yeah, unfortunately, both supports going down for MYS in the tail end of that fight, and it looks like we're going to be seeing XoraTigers continue on with this as well, even forcing out the Unite onto Sabine, trying to dish out that damage. Lapras caught with the mean look, they will get it, and they also use the commitment. Unite there from the Blissey just to deal that extra damage, to zone them off the goal zone. Nightmare Fox, they're doing lots of damage. The AoE cancelling the score lines, and it looks like they might be losing some more Pokemon here, but they are still trying to defend. There's only so much you can do as a Mew and a Trevenant. These scores are going to finally go through. No, the constant solar beams. Oh gosh.
It feels like forever because we're just seeing this massive fight with this bottom path back and forth for so long. It literally went for 2 minutes long, by the way. 4 minutes and 30 seconds we saw the fight initiated, and now we're already slowly transitioning into that Rayquaza fight. Such a long fight, but this is the problem right now. If they get pressured out with this Regieleki, I think it's going to be quite the pinch here for Team MYS. But then again, let's see who's going to be able to secure it first. Nice time with the mean look to try to ensure this Trevenant, the Ice, was not able to get to any of their line to try to disrupt them in any way. They should be able to secure the Regieleki, and I believe they have enough damage to actually pull it out. See, no more aggression coming out from XoraTigers.
They got 18 seconds to go, and with these final moments, XoraTigers just going to finish up leveling up, getting all the experience on their side of the map. Lots of yellow dots here. But we're down to the last 5 seconds before Rayquaza's going to make his descent from the sky. And might be the game-winning condition for some of these teams. Everyone's getting into position. So far, everyone for XoraTigers is grouped up. Leafeon going to be sitting in that top lane protecting just in case someone wants to go for that potential back cap.
Oh, yes.
Now, here's the advantage here. MYS are currently in the lead for points, but they have lost a few of these engagements when Yemu hasn't successfully come in with the backstab Lapras Express. So I think there's going to be a lot of pressure onto Yemu to somehow find that opening and to yet again set things up for Ice and Co. Maybe they can still win this game. HT going to be sneaky in his own right, sitting in that bottom lane bush.
The winning condition for TeamMYS is very simple as well. It's just merely positioning as well. Just get as much intel as possible. I love the placement where they're currently standing because that just gives them a really general view of the whole situation. And by the way, they're not pressured for Rayquaza as well. So anytime they can try to go for the punish or any secrecy, they manage to get on top of the Leafeon, and that's pretty much all they need. But then, by the way, there's still the Lapras Express, and now they're trying to dive into the mix as well.
They use the Midnight Prance, so there's going to be no Umbreon Unite coming into this next fight. That's
well.
what MYS want. They want to force out these Unites if possible, force them out prematurely so that they lack these countermeasures. If a fight happens, they're going to come in this time. Trevenant dealing so much Phantom Forest on the whole team. They found the choke point, but do they have the damage? They've only lost the Trevenant Umbreon as well. Both defenders down on both sides, but Inteleon goes down as well as the Leafeon. Jong all on his own, isolated by MYS, and this might just be it. MYS going to be locking in their points for the game, not bothering with Rayquaza at all. And with 25 seconds to go, and all these knockout timers being so long, this might just be it, folks.
No, it's not might just be it. It is it, Danny. TeamMYS finally, from the brink of defeat, they brought things back despite the disadvantage, despite the back and forth. They will be the one that have the final say. They already set up the foundation. They set up the game until this very moment. They ensured they have the points. They ensured they're not going to be the one that's being pressured out. They got the positioning, they got the timing. And by the way, and the best part about it, like you said, the fact that they were able to force out a couple of Unite moves before the actual big thing, that was a huge bonus for them here. The best part about it, they were able to slowly keep pushing them towards the top side, very close towards the Lapras as well. And once they got really nice close and got back, that was the choke point. That was it. That was the final blow.
Perfect choke point for Ice, because Ice came in, saw them hit the bottleneck, and he was like, insta Phantom Forest. Easy peasy. There's no way you missed this. And it was curtains. And
the worst part about it as well, you also, because you have to play defensive, right? When you get caught from the Phantom Force, you instantly see the Inteleon popping into the Unite move. And it's because since he popped it out relatively early, he just decided, you know what, this fight is not really massive. He needs to go find Nightmare Foxy. By the time he got to the Nightmare Foxy and they started a confrontation, he popped the Unite move first. So it didn't really last that long. By the time